Hi, my name's Anna, and I'm just kind of recording this idea I had. My school has a class called TED, and I'm not actually in it, but I was talking to my teacher about it, about just this concept, and he told me that I should try and at least get it down on video. So this is very informal. I apologize for that. Usually if I were to do something like this, it'd be more structured. I might do a better one to like in time, but here's the initial start. So at the beginning of the year, I'm a senior, and at the beginning of the year, one of my teachers challenged my entire class to be able to learn or to try and find learning moments in everything, even something as simple as a pencil. So I kind of, when I heard this, I was like, that's really cool. Like, I'm definitely going to do that. Like, I am going to learn from everything. Walked out of that room, 5 minutes later, completely forgot. Nothing. Um, the thought it didn't come back to me until I was kind of going through some rough times. So then I became I became a lot thirstier for answers, and I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but I definitely started to open myself up to answers in less conventional places. So I remember what she was saying, and so I was thinking, okay, well, let me think about what I'm learning right now. I was reading Beowulf, and that's a completely different topic, and I found some stuff from that. But I was also learning about bilipid membranes in cell membranes. So this is in our AP Bio course, and just to give some, so you can kind of understand it if you're not in bio. I guess the best way to describe it, it's like a fluid membrane, and the way I would describe it, except this would only be half of it technically, is if you had a bunch of tennis balls on a pool and they're floating at the top and they're kind of packed together and they kind of bobble on the water like that. If you imagine that from like two sides, even if you had like tennis balls, this is kind of hard to conceptualize. So I'm just going to show you a picture really briefly. But, sorry. It's kind of like, so like if the tennis balls were those, oh my goodness. This is from, okay, this is going to be a good review. I have my final exam, but those are from the like if the tennis balls were the phospholipid heads, the little things that you saw on the tails. You can pause the video there if you'd like. That's what would be the tennis ball. So that's like a lipid membrane. And we were reading about how it kind of regulated what it let in and what it let out. Because obviously a cell just can't let whatever its an environment in. It could be something toxic. It could be something it doesn't need. It could be a lot of things. So I started thinking about this in terms of my own life. Well, how should I regulate what I let into my life, and that I can, but still be able to flow with life, like this fluid membrane. So I didn't, it's hard to say, and you never really know what's going to harm you, but something, as I was paying attention to what brought me back in life, what I felt bring me down, and what I felt bring me up, I started to notice something, in that sometimes what brings you up in life isn't very conventional. It's something that seems to be bad. It seems to cause chaos. It seems to cause entropy. When in reality, that can actually spur my own growth. And another thing I noticed is, in order to carry out important metabolic processes, this thing called chemiosmosis, where you have, it's basically where you have a chemical gradient that chemicals or protons can fall down. Sorry, that's highly simplified. Not as important for this specific talk, but something the point of it was what caused the growth in the cell, what causes the growth to the cell, or not exactly growth, but for the cell to get what it needs, is basically this change from the chemical composition outside the membrane and then inside the membrane. And this actually is within the membrane-bound organelle. This isn't the mitochondria, so this isn't like something externally. This is actually something that's created. And so the cell, like through these really cool pumps, the cell creates this difference inside and out. And I thought that was kind of cool because that kind of shows how if we didn't have any diversity, if we didn't have any difference in opinions, then we couldn't grow. We couldn't, like, that is required for us to keep going. And it's just like everything would be really, I mean, and like not just bland, but our motors wouldn't function. So, I don't know if that makes any sense. So, but I guess like what I'm trying to say is like going back to this earlier point is that this, I mean, I still don't have the answer. I don't know necessarily what's causing me harm, what's not causing me harm, but I guess kind of the point of what I'm trying to say right now is that there is something to be learned in everything, and even if you even if you think, oh, maybe it's just like bio, like what can I learn from this, or like, oh, this is just like a book that's like a couple 100 years old, you know, that there's nothing to be learned. Like maybe if you kind of dig for it, and maybe if you're open enough and you want it badly enough, you can find something that applies to your life. And like there is no end all be all answer, but there's definitely things in every single one of our classes that can help me grow as a person through life, which I kind of think is the point, like the reason we go to school, or at least kind of the reason why I go to school. I guess that can differ from person to person. But yeah, to just kind of be looking for those those unknown answers, or no, answers in unsuspecting places, because it's kind of cool, and then it's kind of exciting, and it makes the world a lot less scarier. Because I mean, as a senior, the world can be kind of scary. So that was my video. I'm actually going to go do my AP Biolab. Sorry, Dr. Birdie. Transformation. Okay, alright, bye.